Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another action figure review of a figure I wish I had back when it came out. I can't stress that enough, but today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Leader Class Transmetal Dragon Megatron. Brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, and much like the other Transformers we've taken a look-see at this past week, or past couple of days really, hasn't been that long, has it? It's also brought to us by my good buddy Evil Villain. I will leave a link in the description below to his Instagram. If you're gonna head on over there, give him a follow, let him know Overlord sent you, but as always, give me a jerk face. I'll find you, and I'll torture Candy Arse with good old Dragon Megatron here, because he's a freaking dragon! And he's Megatron. And he's really, really well colored. I mean, this guy just freaking pops. And he's also missing an accessory. In true Evil Villain fashion, he sent me a really awesome figure missing one piece. That said, let me tell you guys a story about my good buddy Evil Villain for just a minute here. Let me spin a yarn for you, those of you who are into hearing old catchphrases. Or phrases in general, whichever. Sometimes Evil Villain will send me accessories to figures I have and don't have the accessories to. Very helpful. Sometimes Evil Villain will send me figures with most of their accessories and send me the rest of their stuff later. Also helpful. Sometimes he'll send me accessories to figures he either has no intention of sending me or figures he doesn't even have, but he happens to have the accessories to. In this case, I think he intended to send me the flame effect weapon accessory to this figure quite some time ago, but hasn't actually sent the package it's packed in yet. Therefore, I do not have it for review. That said, I do have a rough idea what it is. It's again, a flame effect, but if you're familiar with the Leader Class Megatron from the last night, he came with two flame effects, kind of club shaped, not gonna lie, that went into the thrusters of the jet mode. I'm guessing this guy, it's something similar, maybe a little different. Unfortunately, I forgot to ask Evil Villain for a picture of said accessory so I could show it off in this review, but I digress. Even without the accessory, this thing is freaking awesome, and I love it! Absolutely amazing. It's truly amazing. So why don't we take a look-see at this amazing creature, as Mr. Willem Dafoe would say. He's got like this crazy, I don't know, eye on the chest thing going on, and then the claws from the beast mode kind of form this rib cage around it. Looks really cool. I always like the skeletal details on Transformers. They always make them look just a tad gnarlier than they already are. The Dark of the Moon Shockwave was one of the first ones I noticed to utilize a design like that, so that's cool. He's got a really cool head sculpt with some tusks showing. He's got a freaking dreadlock, or this freaking metal AF weave sticking off the back of his head. And Evil Villain was telling me this hooked into some kind of throne, so maybe we'll get that at some point. Also on the back you could see the flame wings from the beast mode that you can extend if you want. And I think it was Prime vs. Prime that said these reminded him of stencils used for tracing. I can't agree with that more. It totally feels like that now that I've heard that. Can't get that out of my head. He's got the big dragon feet, so he's really easy to stay in. He's not going anywhere. Much like T-Rex Megatron having the big dino feet. No, I don't have him available for comparison. It's kind of buried at the moment, so not like buried in a box, but buried on a shelf. I would never put that figure in a box. He's too awesome. He's got the big dragon head for one arm, which, yeah, I'll admit, kind of lazy, but that's how he is. That's what it is. It gets the job done. I like it a lot. So, as far as articulation on this guy is concerned, the crazy dreadlock has all kinds of movement, so you can actually utilize the head articulation. You move these little thingies up, you can utilize it a little more. There you go. So, you can look side to side, and it's really just a swivel. I don't think it's got a ball joint or anything in there. But these kind of help keep it centered. So when you flip the tail down, everything is compact. That said, this chest piece for the dragon mode is really the only piece of kibble on this figure. I think maybe they could have put an added hinge towards the middle here so it could collapse up even further, kind of hide itself. It's a little asymmetrical too. He's got this big kind of lump on this side that he doesn't have on the other side. I'm curious what that's about, if that's specific to something. As far as the shoulders go, they can go out. They can rotate. This side's got a soft ratchet. The other side has a slightly tighter ratchet. He does have a bicep twist. He does have a double elbow due to transformation. And double elbows on Transformers have always looked kind of weird, so I kind of just shift the top one back and then bend the bottom one forward. And that gives you a pretty decent look for the arm. Gives it a little bit of depth. No wrist swivel, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? Again, the wings are articulated. You could spread them out, or you can hinge them back and forth. I'll have them splayed out for final thoughts, those of you curious. This dragon head arm, obviously like the tail, or the dreadlock in this case, has all these ball joints. You can't really spin them. Kind of sucks, but other than that, you can get a lot of range out of this. It's fine. And you can twist them a little bit, but I wouldn't push it, because you don't want to stress them out or anything. You can open the mouth of the dragon head, and there is a port for that effect piece in his mouth, as well as you can put it in the hand. Again, use it as a sword or a club or whatever. And then as far as the legs go, he does have a waist twist. Nice tight ratchet in the waist. Let me flip that back. There we go. So you can utilize that if you want. The wings are going to hinder it a little bit just because they're right up on him, but I'd rather they be right up on him than not, because they stay out of the way for other things. Hips kick out. You can do better than... Look at this. Simple disc hinge kicks farther than Spider-Man. Eat your freaking heart out, Marvel Legends. He does have nice, tight, ratcheted hips. I will say his crotch, at least when I transformed him back into robot mode from beast mode after I transformed him for the first time, it's staying together a lot better than it was when I initially got this guy from Evil Villain. He was in robot mode in the box, and his waist didn't want to stay together quite so good, which didn't bother me. It was fine. It stayed for the most part, but I don't know what I did, but this thing is rock solid now and not going anywhere, so I greatly appreciate that. And this is not nearly as hard to take apart as the Dragon Megatron, or T-Rex Megatron from Beast Wars. It's not even close. He does have a knee hinge, or swivel, there, as well as a hinge. You can get way more than 90 out of that. He does have the extra kind of hinge in the leg, but that's for transformation, but you can use it, I guess, if you want. And then he does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker. It gets you enough tilt, I think. And no portholes on the bottom of the feet, but lots of sculpted details. So Really cool figure. I like this guy a ton. I think he's fan-freaking-tastic. If you are just into Transformers, excuse me. So it's a little dry. I might need to get a beverage after this. But if you're at all into Transformers and just want a fun figure, this guy is it. This guy is all it. He is, again, truly amazing. I can't stress this enough. I honestly don't know why Evil Villain sent this thing to me. I almost don't feel worthy to have it. But I ain't sending it back. I just freaking adore this figure. I don't know why I wasn't on top of it when it came out. I've seen lots of reviews of it since then, and I don't know, man. I was just sleeping on this figure, and I'm glad I have him now. That said, it's a little too late to do a redux of the top figures of 2022, but, you know, never say never, I guess. I still haven't done one for 2023. That said, before we wrap this thing up, why don't we actually bring in some size comparisons? I don't have a lot of Beast Wars available, so we'll just bring in our Pretender buddies Skullgrin and Bludgeon from Legacy Evolution. I know Bludgeon's Legacy Evolution. I don't know about Skullgrin, but just so you can get an idea how Megatron stacks alongside a Deluxe class and a Voyager class. I know Bludgeon's probably a bigger Voyager class, but, you know, you do the math. Love these two. I think they're fun. And every time I think of these Pretender characters, I think of that old 50s kind of doo-wop song. I'm the great Pretender. Ooh. I don't know why I'm referencing that. I'm sure there's no one in my audience that gets that reference. Well, maybe one, but he's old school. He'll know who he is. He'll know who he is. He comments on every video. That said, this course would not be one of my videos without bringing in the Mythic Legions. Brother Mandibilith. Right there. First Transformer that looks like it's not going to tower over the infamous current 11 Spawn. Which, yeah. He does not. He is not dwarfed by Spawn. I don't know if I messed that up or not, but you know what? I'm leaving it in. We're doing it live. Alright? All my F-ups are live for your amusement. And my expense. So, with that being said, before I make a bigger arse out of myself, why don't we wrap things up? Some final thoughts. Overall, and what else can I possibly say about this amazing figure that hasn't already been said? Other than the fact that, had I had known how amazing this figure was back when he came out, I mean, I kind of did, but not really. You don't really know how good or bad something is until you have it in hand. Hence the criteria for my countdown videos. That said, I ain't going to talk about that right now because I'm a bit behind on the one for 2023. That said, however, had I had this guy when he came out, easy top action figure of 2022. Easy. He wasn't going to beat the Headless Horseman. I'll fully admit that, but boy oh boy, he would have at least cracked the top 5 maybe, because this figure is, as I mentioned before, truly amazing. He has an awesome presence. Even if you're not into Transmetal like me, as I said before, I'm a Beast Wars kid. After that, I kind of fall off because I just kind of lost interest. But even if you're not into the whole Transmetal thing, this guy is worth having. This guy is awesome. He looks freaking metal AF. And we haven't even talked about his alt mode yet. So before we wrap this thing up, why don't we transform him into his monstrous and mighty beast mode. And as promised, here is good old Megatron in his mighty beast mode. Now, what could be better than a Tyrannosaurus Rex, you might ask? How about a motherfreaking fire-breathing dragon? I swear to God, I'm waiting for a little Christopher Lee to walk out and start spilling the blood of the Saxon men. Thumbs up the video if you get that reference. But yeah, man, this is one heck of a beast mode. I really, really, really love this beast mode. Not only because it's a definite upgrade from the T-Rex beast mode from before, but it's a pretty articulated beast mode, something we're not used to seeing. I know some of the Beast Wars characters have more articulated beast modes than others, but this guy is pretty loaded as far as articulation goes. But let's just address the elephant in the room here. You can pull his Stencil AF wings up just by lifting up the outer piece here. And that will allow them to spread out like so. It's a nice kind of soft, not gummy plastic, but it's more pliable, kind of hard plastic, like the stencils you use for tracing and whatnot. And as far as his head goes, he's got double ball pegs all over the place. So you can get tons of range out of that. There's a big hinge where it goes into the torso there, so you can lift it up and down. And then he does have a little rotating ratchet joint here at the base of the neck as well. Of course, you can open his mouth and put the flame effect in there. Again, I don't have that, so I can't show you what that looks like, but it looks pretty cool from what I can imagine here. The wings do hinge back and forth. And then his little teeny tiny arms do have little disc hinges. The torso there, so they can rotate, move up and down. He does have a bicep swivel. He does also have a hinge in the elbow. And then he has swivel hinge claws there. On top of that, his legs are also pretty well articulated. They do hinge back and forth, or in and out, I should say. They do ratchet up and down. He's got a hinge in the knee, as well as a hinge in the foot, and the rocker from robot mode. And then as far as his tail goes, it also has a lot of double ball peg joints, so you can get all kinds of range out of that. And it does have one large hinge joint at the base, and it does tilt side to side as well. But be careful when posing this guy. He's pretty secure and stable as far as the transformation goes. Everything snaps in nice and tight for the most part, but moving him around, you may have a tendency to pop some things out, so just be wary of that. But yeah, man, love this beast mode. This thing is awesome. Still can't believe my good buddy Evil Villain sent this to me. Instead of, I don't know, something less cool, because I don't know, I wouldn't get rid of this thing. This thing's amazing. So definitely one of the top figures of whatever calendar year this thing came out in. I want to say it was 2022. So definitely going to have to do a redux of that at some point, probably as a playlist, because it's a little late to make a video for that year, considering the fact I haven't even made one for last year. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.